Now I just want to point out that I'm walking around in the kitchen with no shoes on. Maybe you could see that, I don't know, because when I use this laptop I can't see the screen when I point it towards something else because the webcam stays in one place. So anyhow, this walking around in the kitchen barefoot reminds me of someone I was in Europe with a couple of years ago who came down to the kitchen barefoot also. And I think she and I probably were some of the only people, at least the only people that day, who came down to the kitchen barefoot. And it really shocks people a lot of times when I walk around barefoot. Like the other day when I was in Sarajevo, I walked down to the hostel in the morning barefoot. I had to walk outside and walk down the sidewalk a little bit to get from the dormitory room to the office. This lady, before she said good morning or anything, she kind of looks at my feet and like shows this look of shock and said something like, "Aren't you cold?" or "It's cold out," or something. Anyhow, that just kind of shows what some people think about. Instead of wondering how you're feeling, they're more worried about whether you're wearing shoes or not. And she might have stopped to think that, well, this guy's like kind of old and he's probably been doing this all his life and he hasn't died from it, so I guess it works for him. But instead she only saw things from her very limited view of the world. I wouldn't be at all surprised if she had never left Bosnia. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if she would shout at and definitely lecture her children for walking down to the kitchen without wearing shoes. Or especially walking outside without wearing shoes. She would probably also be worried about what the other people would say in the neighborhood if her children were to do something so like shocking and disruptive to the community order as walking around outside without shoes on. Well, I see that I've gone over the 10-minute mark by about 2 minutes, so this video will have to be split. Well, it will be split by the time you're watching it. So bye for now. I was just thinking again about how the sensitive people in the world might be getting killed off, or they might be killing themselves off. And I was thinking that one reason I'd like to have kids at this point is because I would like to pass some of my sensitive genes on to the next generation, as they say. And now, since I'm 51 now, I'm afraid I'm getting a little bit old to have kids because I would like to still be young enough to run around and play and swing my kids around and have them climb on my back and stuff. And I'd like to see them when they're like 18 years old and legally a person in most countries. So let's see, if I had a kid next year, I'd be 52. 18 plus 52 is 70. Wow, fucking A. So I'm not sure if I would ever see my kids at 18. I might, but I don't know that I really want to hang around to 18 until 70, really. If I had kids, I probably would. Then I'd probably just sit back or start taking life a little easier and just kind of watch them and make my videos, let them choose to watch them or not. I really think this is a good idea. Make videos. Let your kids have the option to either watch them or not. So maybe what I'm going to start doing is writing, or actually making videos for my possible future kids, so they'll know what their old man was like before he got their mother pregnant. I have no idea even who their mother might be at this point. There's actually someone in Romania named Orsi. I don't mind saying it, that I wouldn't mind having be the mother of my kids because she's super sensitive, and she's intelligent, and we'd get along well, and I don't think we'd argue about too many things when it came to raising kids, except maybe washing hands before you eat. Now, I have to say something about that because yesterday I thought of it again. Orshi and I got into a little bit of a argument about whether it was necessary to force children to wash their hands, because she basically forces them or manipulates them or whatever into washing their hands before they eat at the nursery school. And yesterday I brought this topic up with Emilio from Argentina and with Sebastian from Switzerland. And I asked them what they think about washing their hands before they eat. And Sebastian quickly said, I wash my hands before I eat. And at this point we were all sitting around the breakfast table eating using silverware. And so then I said, do you guys wash your hands before you eat popcorn? I love my questions. I don't know where I got this ability to ask these provocative questions. But anyhow, so they both said no. And obviously, it almost goes without saying that if people don't wash their hands before they eat popcorn directly with their fingers, why wash your hands before you pick up a knife and fork and spoon to eat food? Does that make sense to you? So, okay, if you happen to be my future child and your mother is making you wash your frigging hands, just tell her, hey Mom, do you wash your hands before you eat popcorn? And maybe, or she would wash her hands before she eats popcorn, I don't know. But if you were to take a poll of how many people around the world wash their hands before they eat popcorn, I think you'd find a very, very small percentage. And I don't think many people are dying around the world from eating their hands. From eating their hands? That didn't come out right. From eating popcorn without washing their hands first. Although maybe that is why people die. And we don't really know. We haven't put together the cause-effect relationship. But maybe people are actually dying around the world. Maybe it's not really AIDS. Maybe it's because they're not washing their hands before they eat popcorn. There's something to think about.